Hi, everybody, and welcome to this training session for the Storm School Initiative. This topic is Emergency Management 101. How do we prepare? Our speaker today is going to be Tony Hurley from First Energy. A lot of experience here. But before we get into that, it's a panel session. It will be informal, kind of crosstalk, if you will, but Tony will lead through the slides. And I'm going to have the panel introduce themselves. So when they chime in, you kind of know who's speaking first. So first up, I'll go with Jim Nowak. Jim?
Yeah, Tom, Jim Nowak. I'm had 37 years in the electric industry, working for American Electric Power. During that time, I did various jobs from engineering to operations manager, dispatch manager, and I ended up my last 10 years with them managing their emergency restoration for their corporation. Threw in a little bit of accounting in there while I would spend my time there. After 37 years, I retired. I now work for Arcos, which focuses on utilities and the resource management platform. I'm their senior director over operations, product, and services. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Mike Sapone. Mike?
Hi, everybody. Mike Sapone. Like Jim, retired after only 35 years in the electric utility industry, primarily in electric operations, overhead, underground, also system operations. In the last decade or so, got heavily involved in the mutual assistance arena in emergency preparedness and response, working closely with EEI mutual assistance groups across the nation. Retired, took a position as the VP of sales and marketing with Tempest Energy, a electric utility partner in preparedness and response. Also the managing partner of Mike Z LLC, do some consulting work with various customers around emergency preparedness, response, and other areas that they asked me to get involved in. So glad to be here.
All right, thanks, Mike. Dave?
Yeah, I'm Dave Vanablumen. I wasn't smart enough to retire after 37 years. I hung out for 42 at Dominion Energy, Virginia. So I didn't have to take on another job after I retired. I do do a little consulting on the side. But in my 42 years at Dominion, my last 7 were the director of the regional operations centers and emergency preparedness. But I had an array of different jobs throughout my career. Started as a lineman back in the early 70s and worked my way through a lot of different positions, but really happy to be here and a part of this esteemed group that's here today to talk to you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And Carlos?
Good afternoon, everybody. And this is Carlos Torres, and I'm really happy to be here. I'm the junior guy because I've only worked 32 years in the utility industry, where I worked all of them at Con Edison, New York. I spent my first 22 years in operations, electric, gas, and steam distribution, transmission, and then decided to retire back in 2017. I should say my last 10 years at Con Edison was as the VP of Emergency Preparedness and Business Resiliency, and I really got engaged with some of the major emergencies the company has to deal with during my time there. Also was part of the response effort, the industry response effort following Hurricane Maria and Irma down in Puerto Rico, where I led the restoration at the island. And since then, I've been doing some consulting work like Dave and Mike and Tony and Jim, trying to help those that I see myself being in years ago. So I want to be a helpful partner with those folks. Thanks for having me here today.
Thank you, Carlos. And our speaker today is Tony Hurley. Tony, I'll let you introduce yourself so that we can kind of jump into the content.
Tony Hurley. I spent 37 years working for First Energy or First Energy Legacy Companies. My last assignment, I was Vice President of Operations in Jersey Central Power and Light. After 9/11, became very, very involved with not only the emergency management portion of the position, but also physical security. So thank you.
Very good. So let's dive into this real quick here, okay? So Emergency Management 101, how do we prepare? So Tony, before we get into it, we talk about strategy that could save your business. So who is this, from your perspective, who is this training for, right? Can you talk to a bit about who you hope can take this and run with it.
Although the panel and myself are all utility-centric professionals, the fact is, I think that anybody watching this can benefit